Hey Fun Rich Mamas, Mitch here. So I just recently got back from Ireland. And what do you do when you're in Ireland? You go to pubs. It's true. That and you go to the Guinness factory tour, and I was no exception. It's a really cool place to go. I highly recommend it if you're ever in Ireland, in Dublin. And it's this 5-story building that you kind of wind your way up as you learn the story of Guinness. And while we were doing it, it was so cool because literally it was like boom, 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 boom. It was like all of these life lessons started popping up and going, check it out, check it out. And I had this idea that I just had to bring to you. So if you didn't figure it out, we're doing life lessons learned at the Guinness factory tour. And this is part 1 because we've got a few of them. So I know we don't have a ton of time in our day, so we're going to try to make this short. So to start off, let me give you a brief history on Arthur Guinness, the founder. He had started, well, he was born in the 1700s, way back when, right? He had started his own little brewing company, and he was making this beer called Stout. It was kind of new on the scene, but it was gaining some popularity. So he decided he was going to go all in on this deal because he wanted it to be the beer, the one that you go and everyone asks for. It's at everyone has it. And so he found this unused beer factory in Dublin, and he signed a 9,000-year lease for this deal. 9,000 years. It's like, who does this? Let's make sure it really works. I mean, that's a lifetime commitment. And the money's going out, whether you're getting it back in. But Arthur had the vision, and he had the expectation that this is what I'm doing, and this is what's going to happen. And guess what? Here we are, quite a few centuries later, and everybody knows what a Guinness is. You may not drink it, but you know it. You know the beer can, you know what it's like, and literally Guinness has made its way all around the world by this point in time. So the guy definitely was onto something. So if you haven't figured it out yet, lesson number 1 is you got to have a vision for your life. If you don't, life's just going to smack you up the face, and it's going to play ping pong with you, and you just kind of are going to end up in reaction to whatever life is throwing your way. And who wants a life like that, right? I'm sure we've all been there. I know I have. I'll get into that a little bit later. So when we have a vision and we tell life what we want out of it, suddenly we can start to get that, even if you haven't before, because we're telling our brain what it is that we want, and we're holding it to an expectation. So what are some ways that you can do this? Well, the first one is what I like to call my rocking chair years journey, right? We're basically reverse engineering our life. So picture yourself sitting on your rocking chair. You're close to the end of your days. You got all the grandkiddos, the great-grandkiddos, and they're saying, tell me a story, we want to know. And you lean back and you close your eyes and you start thinking about all of those moments, and you pick out your favorite ones, and this is when you grab your paper and pen, not a text, not typing, paper and pen. It's a whole different experience to your brain. And you start writing down, what are those stories that you would want to tell? What was your life like? Who was the type of person that you became? What did people say about you? What was your family like? How did you live? And just go all out, like no holds bars. Write it with language that just makes you go boom when you read it, and that it's exciting, and it's like, yes, yes. Don't be afraid to dream big. The crazier, the better. Just put it down, get it out there. Guess what? You can always go back and edit later. Why start small when you can be as big as you want? Because no one's going to read it but you. So that is number 1. The second option might be for those of you who are saying, that sounds great and all, but literally, I have no idea. There's those people that say, follow your passion. And I'm like, what's a passion? So for you guys, let's go ahead and try this method. Let's start with, what is it that you don't want in your life? Because most of us are pretty clear on that. Like, I don't want that. I don't want this, and ain't no way is that one coming into my life, right? So start by getting rid of all those don't wants and get them out of the way. And once you do that, suddenly you have some space there to see the things that you do want. Like, oh, hey, I don't want this, but this would be kind of cool. I like that. And start writing from there. And then the third method would be for those of us who maybe aren't so forward thinking, we like to reminisce about the past, and that's our happy place. So we're going to use that, okay? You're going to go back and you're going to look at those moments, those what I like to call our rock star moments, those ones that just give you the warm fuzzies, the ones that you glow when you think about, the ones that you've kept telling the stories about over the years, over and over, and everybody can repeat it because you like it so much. Those are the ones. And we're going to look at that and we're going to see what was it about those memories that you loved so much? Why are they near and dear to your heart? What are the different elements about it? What were the feelings? What were the people like? And now we can take those experiences and shoot them into the future and cast that future vision for you now. So maybe where it was hard for you to see before, now you can take that and make it yours. So those are the 3 different ways that you can create your visions. And by the way, when I say you want to write this down, it's really important that you write it down, pen and paper. It's such a difference because what happens is you take things from your emotional brain and you put it into your logical brain. And your logical brain is the one that's going to start to figure out ways and get creative to start making this thing happen. So how do we make it happen? Well, I got a story for that. Thanks for asking. So like I was saying earlier, me back in 2010 was a very different me than you're getting to know right now. I was so excited when I found out that the 99-cent store sold vegetables, like produce and food, because that was literally my budget for getting groceries at the time. Like things were a little bit bleak. I wasn't on the streets or anything, but I had some calls. I had some calls that I was just politely saying, take a number. There's nothing there. And I had also been single for about 8 or 9 years at this point. And when I say single, I'm not saying like I dated here, I dated there was just nothing that stuck. So, I was just kind of in constant date mode. No, I'm talking, it was like whoosh, tumbleweeds, desert, nothing, for 8 years. So now you're starting to get the idea of who I was back in 2010. And I had this friend, we talked about vision, and she said, hey, why don't you do a vision board? And I'll tell you, my first reaction was kind of like, ooh, those hokey things that you see on people's mirrors. And you're kind of like, yeah, that's not you. Those ones. And you're like, I don't want to be that person. And what did I have to lose? I mean, nothing was happening anyway. Why not try something new? So this was the deal behind the vision board. When you make it, you grab those images, you grab those statements that when you see it, it actually lights you up. It excites you. And it's stuff that's big. And when you look at it, be happy about it. Be grateful for it and say, yeah, that's it. That's right. That's my life. And you don't have to sit there and like give it goo eyes all day and like, please, 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 please happen. No, you just acknowledge it. I had mine on my closet door because it was the first thing that I saw every day. It was the last thing that I saw at night. And every time I would pass it, I'd look at it, I'd nod, I'd say, yep, that looks good. I like it. Let's get it. And so now what happened is it opened up my brain to start getting creative because it suddenly said, oh, I'm a different person now. I'm not this little sad person over here that can't think of anything and get out of my box. I'm this person over here that does all sorts of crazy, wild, and imaginative things. So I'm going to start being crazy, wild, and imaginative. So let me give you a few examples of what happened because this stuff really works. Not only is it backed by science, I'm living proof of it. So a fun one was, like I said, I'd been in a dry spell for many, many years. And suddenly, over the course of a few months, it started raining men. Like literally these guys were like popping out of the mall. Where have you been all these years, right? And it wasn't that they hadn't been there. It's just that my mind had been in such a different place. I couldn't see them. And lo and behold, there was one. He was my cutie and he loved me and I loved him and we are now married. And I love him so much. And that was just a mind-blowing thing to me. I had put this picture. Okay, so I photoshopped a picture of me and my favorite actor, put it up there, as my placeholder. And I will tell you, I did like looking at that picture, let's be real. And this thing came to life. So a couple of other ones, we'll do a kind of a funny small one, but I had a picture of two cats. It was a gray cat and a white cat, and they were just snuggled together. Well, when I married my husband, he had a gray cat kitty. And about 1.5 years later, after we got married, we adopted a little white cat, Shifu. And one day I was just walking along and they happened to be on the couch together, and I noticed out of the side of my eye, I kept walking, but then it was like, record scratch. I stopped and looked back and I was like, oh my gosh, this picture from my vision board. I literally have a gray and white cat, exactly like what I put on my vision board, like craziness, right? So this is a couple years later. Your vision board is not stuff it's not going to necessarily happen all at once, okay? Give it time, give it space. I mean, even 10 years later in 2020, I got this house that my husband and I built. It had this 16-foot slider glass windows. When I was walking into our house one day, I was like, oh my gosh, this is my vision board. I had this house that had these huge windows in the back that you look out and you see these trees and beautiful fields, and that's exactly what we look out to. So crazy things that happen. So try it out. What do you have to lose? Another thing that you can do, oh, by the way, vision board, make it happen. I like this one. You write your statement cards. You write your I ams. I am this. I am that. I have this. And you write it all in the present tense, okay? And you write it with language that excites you. Again, you want it to be something that just really compels you and pulls you forward into it. And you read it every day. You read it every night, morning and night, okay? And it's that simple. And again, it just starts to retrain your brain. This is who I am. Get creative, start taking different actions. You start to become a different person along this journey. It's really, really cool. And then I also love doing what we call our year-end review, because you got to see, am I on track? What's been going right? What would I like to change? And also, I'm at a different point in my life now. I used to have this on my vision board, but it doesn't really fit. I want to tweak it, and we're going to change it into this. And now I'm still excited about it, and let's get our brain thinking on, how do I make this next step happen? So that is it for me, you guys. I'm going to be coming back at you with a few more of these series. Like I said, life lessons learned at the Guinness Factory. So pull up a chair, grab your favorite beverage, kick back, get a notepad and paper, take some notes, and drop a comment. I would love to hear what you're coming up with in your vision. And before I leave you, I want to let you know I got a new little gift for you, because I am always looking for ways to help you out, because I know what life can be like when you start making those changes. And probably the number one thing that I hear about from moms whenever I talk to them is that they're always overwhelmed and putting themselves last. So guess what I did? I made a 7-day challenge for self-cares of overwhelmed moms. And that is my gift to you. You can just DM me or drop me a comment that you want that. Send me your email and I will get that out to you. If you're already on my email list, I'll be sending that out to you in the next few days. And do it, you guys. Take the time. You are worth giving yourself some self-care. It gives you the space to be more and give more. And if you know of anyone that you think can help with this video, that can get help from this video, then please forward it to them. I just really want to make sure that all of the mamas out there are getting all of the support that they need, because it can be rough out there. I know. I have been there. I have had the momster moments. Okay, until the next time, go live a fun, rich life. I will see you later. Bye.